Hi, my name is Amos White, and I'm the middle school division lead teacher at the Colorado Springs School. And I want to thank you for tuning in to this screencast. At this point, I'm going to take just a moment and switch over to a screen view here so that I can see so that you'll be able to see my slides. And we'll minimize this. All right, this screencast is entitled On the Road to Discovery, the CSS Middle School. Now, most of us, when we think back on our middle school years, most people don't have incredibly fond memories of that time period because it truly is, part of what makes it so difficult is it's a transition period between the stability and security of elementary school to the independence of high school. During this time, there are awkward physical changes and the emotions that go with this. Here at CSS, we love this age group, and our philosophy is that this period is an extremely important time for kids to discover who they are, what they're good at, what they like, and how this all fits with interacting positively with others and learning to take responsibility for their lives and actions. Now, as you look at various middle school programs, there are various options, but we have a great middle school program here at CSS, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that really set us apart from other options you may be considering. So the first differentiator for our program is incredibly strong faculty support and mentorship. As kids get into the changes of their middle school years, they need guides to help them navigate new challenges. When students arrive as sixth graders, they are assigned an advisor, and each advisor has about 8 to 12 kids that they meet with twice a week for 45 minutes. The advisory group is the student's home away from home, and the advisor serves as the student's advocate here at school and regularly checks in with their advisees and has the universal perspective here in terms of how the students are doing academically, socially, and emotionally. And advisors really get to know their advisees quite well, and of course the advisees really get to know, within a group, get to know each other quite well as also. And one of the reasons for this is they interact with them in a variety of settings and activities. And if you look at this particular view of the screen here, in the upper left, you can see one advisee group, kind of obviously feeling very comfortable with one another, goofing around for an advisory yearbook picture. And in the upper right-hand picture, you've got an advisory group on Seminar 1, our fall camping trip, interacting with one another and sharing a meal that they've prepared together. In the bottom left, you see 8th graders with one of their advisors over at Garden of the Gods, working with Rocky Mountain Field Institute on a service project doing some trail restoration. And then in the bottom right, you've got students participating in some fun advisory relay races under the supervision of various teachers. So once again, students, we really get to see students in a variety of settings, and they become very comfortable with us, and we really are, as advisors, their guides here at school, and we partner with parents to help their sons and daughters be successful. Another differentiator of our program is there's a lot of attention to leadership and developing supportive peer relationships. We have lots of happy kids here at CSS, and this doesn't happen by accident. You can see some of these happy kids in this slide. We really work on equipping kids with the skills they need to interact positively. And this is done in a number of ways, but one of our methods is by using our version of the Ruler program. And the Ruler program is actually a research-based program out of Yale, which is all about teaching students social emotional intelligence. And students learn through this program, learn to recognize emotions in themselves and others, learn to understand the causes of those emotions, then learn to effectively label and be able to articulate what they are feeling. And they also learn to evaluate kind of is how they're expressing their emotions in any particular circumstance. Is that working? Is that working for them? And then they're taught strategies to help them regulate their emotions productively. And there's lots of research on the positive effects of social emotional training. The research shows that students with greater emotional intelligence have been found to have less anxiety and depression, to be less likely to abuse drugs and alcohol, are less aggressive and less likely to bully others. They're found to perform better academically, to have greater leadership skills, and to be more attentive and less hyperactive in school. Now, in addition to the social emotional training that we do through our ruler program, we also do a lot of character training in advisory. And often this advisory time is dictated by the needs of the kids at specific times, but we also have grade level specific themes. For example, in 6th grade, students learn to take care of self. They're just entering middle school, so learning how to manage their time, their stress, their eating habits, their exercise, and their study habits is really important. So a lot of the lessons focus on that. In 7th grade, students are learning to take care and think about others. And then in 8th grade, students are learning to be leaders as they take care of others in the CSS community. Now, CSS students are taught to take responsibility for their actions. And respecting others is not always easy, but we believe it is not enough to just hold students accountable, which we do, but they must also be taught conflict resolution skills. So advisors do mediations between students when necessary and coach them through the process so that they will develop the skills they will need to deal with conflict as adults. Students also develop leadership and responsibility by leading their own conferences. So we have student-led conferences where students will work collaboratively with their advisor and their parents to establish SMART goals for the rest of the semester, both academically and socially. And these goals are then referred back to at various times so that students are able to hold themselves accountable and to stay on course in meeting the goals they set for themselves. Leadership in our students is also cultivated through our seminar activities, our athletics, and other programs. In this particular view of the screen, I'd like to draw your attention to the picture in the upper left of the slide. Every 3 years, the middle school climbs a 14,000-foot peak. And this is an incredible leadership opportunity for the kids as they help and encourage one another to achieve their climbing goals. Another differentiator of our CSS Middle School is our engaging experiential program. Although there is a place for traditional teaching methods in our classrooms, we believe that students must be actively engaged in their learning. We believe this is best done through project-based learning, and a great example of this is the 6th grade mystery unit. Now, each year a crime is staged in the middle school. In this particular set of pictures, Mr. Tucker's turtles were stolen from his classroom. Not really, but the students weren't aware of this. And so clues were left, and then the students had to work in their various classes to perform chemical trace testing, interview suspects, perform mathematical calculations about some of the clues, and then use all that to identify the culprit. In this particular year, we were even able to have a district judge and a police officer come in to arrest the culprit. And each year, of course, it's a different teacher. And in this process of having the district judge and a police officer come to our school, they were able to demonstrate and explain the legal process to the students. And students were really inspired to learn and practice key skills as well as to find the culprit. Now, all of these engaging experiential project-based learning experiences are done in the context of our next differentiator, which is a rigorous pre-university curriculum designed to challenge every student. And our program really prepares them well with the skills they'll need in the upper school, college, and most importantly, in life. And the skills that we really value and promote in our students are things like critical thinking, collaboration, communication, creativity and ingenuity, and global awareness in the context of making ethical and responsible decisions. This curriculum here, in this slide, you see kind of a typical middle school course load. And as you can see on this slide, between the three grades, all three grades have a English, history, science, and math course every year. They also are required to take a world language. They choose between either French or Spanish. We have a rich array of arts options, band, theater, and then of course visual art. And one thing that I want to highlight, and we have PE, of course. The students offset from their advisory days. They have organized PE classes. In their science curriculum, I do want to point out the fact that CSS has built a K-12 computer science program. And in middle school science classes, students develop proficiency in Python programming, which then feeds effectively into our upper school computer science courses. And this K-12 approach helps students build important STEM skills that will be useful throughout their lives and future careers. If you notice also, in the 6th grade column, we have Get It Together. And this is actually part of our fall orientation for 6th grade students, as well as all new 7th and 8th grade students. And in this orientation, study and organizational skills are taught in this mini course. And then these habits and skills are then reinforced by academic teachers in the various courses throughout the school year. Also listed here is Foundations of Language with all 3 grade levels. And this is the teaching of Greek and Latin roots. And we have an integrated approach here. We actually put this into each of our academic courses. And so we're all teaching roots and word parts as they come up in our various subject areas. And there's a lot of research that shows how this helps with student reading comprehension and standardized testing performance. Another differentiator of our program here at CSS is our college counseling program. Now I know when you're talking about middle schools, you may or may not be already thinking about college, but it's important as you consider middle school, what is that middle school feeding into? And we have an excellent upper school program, and one of its key differentiators is the work that our college counselor does with our high school students in terms of guiding them and preparing them for the college application process. And the philosophy at our school really is about getting kids into schools that are best for them. Not just ones that we can say, hey, we had a certain percentage of kids go to this school or that school, but rather we want kids to be in the school that's going to be best for them, where they're going to be happy, where they're going to thrive, and be really happy with their choice. And we've had a lot of success with our overall program. You can see on the slide here on the left-hand side, this slide, it really kind of shows you the college acceptances that we've had between 2010 and 2016. Our upper school students are getting into incredible colleges and universities, both here in the United States and overseas. And when it comes to college scholarships, it's important to kind of keep in mind that the money that families pay right now is definitely a long-term investment in their kids' futures, not just in terms of the skills they learn, but also in the amount of money that they're awarded from top universities. And if you direct your attention to the right-hand column here of this slide, you can see that the average amount of scholarships earned per graduating class is just under $3 million. And of course, that's quite a bit of money when you consider that the average class size is about 25 students. And these average merit funds earned per student, this is just merit scholarship money. This doesn't include financial aid that students may receive. So it is definitely an investment. A CSS education is definitely a long-term investment in their futures. Our students also, it's important once again to kind of be, although we're not a test-driven school, the reality is that our students are going to take some of the same exams that high school students from around the country are going to take. And AP exams, advanced placement tests, are one of the types of exams that students in our upper school will have the opportunity to measure themselves against others around the country. And you notice here our scores on a scale of 1 to 5. They're in white compared to the national average in black. And pretty much across the board, our students are scoring significantly better than others that are taking these tests around the country. The next slide shows a comparison of our SAT and ACT scores compared to national averages. And you can see once again that we compare quite favorably. CWRA test results. The CWRA test is the College and Work Readiness Assessment, which measures critical thinking and written communication skills, skills which are in high demand, not just in college, but among employers as well. And as you can see, our students scored significantly higher on this exam than others that took this around the country. Another differentiator of our middle school program is the fact that there are lots of opportunities on this journey to discovery that is middle school to discover they're able to discover their passion, their purpose. And they do this by participating in a wide array of activities. And you can see on this slide that there are lots of opportunities to get involved here in the middle school. From student government, student council, and of course student council plays a huge role in actually looking at student life issues and taking proposals from the middle school student body and doing something productive with concerns or suggestions that come their way. But there's also a lot of event planning. So great opportunities for leadership training as they plan things like parties with music or game nights or movie sleepovers. We also, the chili cook-off, even by grade level, this is an event that the 8th graders run. It's a community building event where they have to organize their efforts and plan the food and get the venue all set up, and they're having to interface with all kinds of adults that they deal with on a day-to-day basis, but also administrators and perhaps even people outside of the immediate kind of school community, parents particularly, to try to solicit whatever the needs for this community building event happen to be. So students lots of opportunities that way, lots of outdoor activities for them to get involved with. There are many academic clubs and teams, things like Match Wits, Model UN, kids participating in the Geography Bee, chess. And so as you can see, students, if they put themselves out there, they have an opportunity to kind of find out what they like and maybe where their skills happen to lie. We believe that another way that students are able to find a passion is through athletics. And athletics is also a great way to develop character in our students through learning how to win as well as lose. Also how to deal with adversity and how to work with others. And it's also about developing healthy life habits. And once again, helping, as I said, kids find a passion. In our program, although our teams are quite competitive, we actually don't have any team cuts at all. And in fact, we actually require all middle school students during the course of the year to, at least one time during the year, participate on a school team. Really important in terms of learning how to work with others. And once again, developing these kind of healthy life habits and hopefully helping them find a passion. And if CSS does not offer a particular sport, our students are allowed to play that sport at another school. This next slide shows the various activities or the various sports that our kids are able to do. You see boys and girls cross country offered here, as well as girls volleyball, boys soccer, mountain biking in the fall. And then during the winter, boys and girls basketball. In the spring, girls lacrosse, or girls soccer and boys lacrosse. We also, with our upper school boys volleyball team in the spring, boys are actually allowed to practice and play upper school volleyball as well. So that's another option, even though we don't have a middle school boys volleyball team. In this next slide, we have our seminars. Now, we have 3 seminars a year. We actually start every school year with a Seminar 1, a 3-day, 2-night camping trip where the kids camp by grade levels with their advisors, but participate in a variety of activities in mixed grade levels. It's a great way to develop community in our middle school and also to integrate our new students and 6th graders into the community. So kids come back from this first seminar really feeling like, wow, even though I'm maybe a 6th grader, I really know the 7th and 8th graders, and wow, they're really nice people. So it's a great way to start the year. We do have a 3-year rotation of sites and activities, so the kids will get new challenges and experiences each year. One year we do go out towards the Fair Play area and climb Mount Sherman, as I said earlier, a 14,000-foot peak. Other years we go down to Lake Pueblo State Park, where we'll do such things as canoeing, team building activities or initiatives, and then other kind of group games. And then another year, we'll often go out to Wilkerson Pass and camp in that area and teach the kids how to do geocaching. We'll play Capture the Flag and teach various outdoor skills in a hands-on wilderness institute. Now, Seminar 2 is actually a 5-day course in early March, and Seminar 3 is an 8-day course in May. 6th, 7th, and 8th graders will all do Seminar 2. Seminar 3 is actually for 6th and 7th graders, and in a minute I'll talk about what the 8th grade option is in May. But for both Seminar 2 and Seminar 3, students choose from a variety of course offerings in 5 different categories: the arts, outdoor education, STEM, social and current issues, and life skills. And each course is run by 1 to 2 instructors with 10 to 14 students in each course. And over the 5 seminars that middle school students take in their 3 middle school years, they can't take more than 2 courses in any one of the 5 areas. So they're forced to branch out, as you can see in this slide sampling, and there are lots of different possibilities for students, once again, to find a passion. And looking at these pictures, you see in the bottom left a Finding or Feeling the World in Different Ways seminar, which was a seminar where students kind of studied and experienced looking at different disabilities that people have, and they participated in activities that would give them kind of an understanding and a sense of empathy for those who perhaps have disabilities and how they've overcome them. In the bottom right-hand picture, this is from an outdoor leadership course that was up out of the Breckenridge area, where students were taught various outdoor winter wilderness skills, did some backcountry skiing and snowshoeing, and once again, an incredible experience for students. As I said, while 6th and 7th graders are doing Seminar 3 in May, the 8th graders are on Walkabout, and this is the culminating middle school experience. And they go on a 12-day rafting and camping trip in southeast Utah. And as I said, it is the crown jewel of our middle school outdoor education and leadership program. And it truly is a transformative experience for the students, where they learn about the pathways to adulthood by making most of the decisions on the trip and doing most of the camp chores under the supervision of our teachers. And it really empowers the 8th graders as they're at the end of middle school and certainly getting ready to embrace increased independence and expectations of our upper school program. And it's also an incredibly bonding experience for the kids as they finish up our middle school program. So in summary, what sets CSS apart? We really look at each student. Who are they? And we embrace their individuality and help them become who they want to be and to discover what their passions, what their skills are. So we're excited about our program and to share more with you about this. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or to the admissions office. And I hope you have a great day. And I want to thank you for tuning in.